Oh yeah, we got live back in action, attacking your speakers from the field to the bleachers. This is the Power 32 podcast, rocking and rolling into week 16 with my main man, Mr. Prime Time 313 in the house as always. I am the sports prophet, ready to go, baby. We got football to talk about, plenty of it. Prime, what's going on, my friend? Another week gone by?
Yes,
Good
sir.
to see you.
How's the weather down there, man?
It's been like cool, nice cool, like 65, 70. It's just been real nice outside. So, you got people panicking in the morning thinking it's like freaking cold outside. And I'm like, I still got that New York, blood in me, obviously. So, I don't think it's that cold. But other people out there just losing their freaking minds. It's hysterical. I love it.
I think since you and I have been doing the show together, I think I'll always lead with how's the weather.
You do. You're a weatherman. You are a meteorologist at heart. There is
but
no
I
doubt
think
about it.
I think this time of year I'm gonna just stop asking you because it kind of pisses me off a little bit.
Yeah, I can imagine. Like,
It's
why
been cold as hell up here. We had like a 32, 33 degree day. I think it's supposed to be like 40 tomorrow. And then it's going right back into like 7 in the morning and then 24 or 18 in the afternoon. It's been pretty cold. This is the weather where you go out and you hope your battery holds up in the morning. It's been pretty frigid around here.
I remember those days. Yeah, I remember. And I was watching on TV last night, Monday Night Football, and it was cold there also. It was 19 degrees, felt like 10 or whatever in Pittsburgh. And they win their Monday night matchup. We'll talk about that and plenty more as the Power 32 podcast is ready to roll. We got plenty to talk about. But we first start with our NFL trivia. Prime, you've done pretty damn good for this season, I got to say, no doubt. Because I don't ask just easy layup questions. They're difficult. And you've done a really good job, man. And you've talked yourself out of a few of these. So,
I actually have. So
you probably would have a better record than you normally would. But I got one for you. You ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay, here we go. Who was the first head coach to win 3 NFL Coach of the Year awards? Not the only coach to win NFL of the Year awards, but who was the first coach to win 3 NFL Coach of the Year awards?
I'm thinking for this one we might have to take a trip on not necessarily the Wayback Machine, but
You have it in them, folks.
I got two coaches in mind, and one of
them's the right answer.
And you probably are thinking along the lines I'm thinking. I'm gonna go. I got it narrowed down just based on Super Bowls. I got it boiled down to Chuck Noll and Mr. Joe Gibbs from the former Washington Redskins.
Okay.
So
we got the Steelers coach, the Redskins coach from back in the day. Which one is he going to go?
Don Shula kind of pops in my head, and Madden, and Forrest Gregg and all those Raider coaches. I don't know. Maybe I've gone a little too far back. It could be Bill Walsh too. So now I got a third one in my head. So I'm gonna process of elimination. I'm gonna go, for some reason, I keep looking at my ceiling over here. I'm gonna fall. Right, it's right. I'm gonna just go out on a limb and say Joe Gibbs.
That wouldn't be. You said his name. You said Don Shula, and that is the right answer. And the interesting thing about it is that you would say, "Oh yeah, with the Dolphins, 100%." Yeah, he did win Coach of the Year with Dolphins in '72, the perfect season with Miami. But his first 3 NFL Head Coach of the Year awards came with the Baltimore Colts, actually, in '64, '67, and '68. So Don Shula is the answer, and you have to go a little bit back. I knew you were going to say his name. But yeah, the Baltimore Colts, before they went to Indianapolis, like in the mid '80s, and John Elway refused to go there, and all that, and so on and so forth. But Peyton Manning made the Colts, like a household team, almost like America's team for a while, because you felt bad for them. Remember, they just kept losing in the playoffs every year, whether it was to Pittsburgh or New England. Everybody rooted for the Colts. So when they finally made it to the Super Bowl and beat the Bears in that one, I think a lot of people were happy for Peyton Manning and the team.
Well, and there was a lot of people too. The narrative was Peyton Manning was a great regular season quarterback, kind of like what Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson are kind of going through right now. They're good to great regular season quarterbacks, but getting it done in the playoffs. And then Peyton Manning finally broke through, and I think there was a lot of people, a lot of secret haters of Peyton Manning that were actually happy for him when he did finally win. Peyton's like one of the most likable guys you're ever going to meet. It was, I think there was a lot of people deep down rooting for Peyton Manning and the Colts to go ahead and win that Super Bowl. And then they just, one of the most prolific passing combinations and offenses that we've ever seen. So
no doubt, man. They were fun to watch.
They were.
I used to love watching that Colts offense operate. It was one of the most fun things to watch on the field. Peyton Manning really being a coach on the field and the way that he took control of the offense. It was so old school. You really didn't see that for a while, and you haven't really seen it since. I mean,
no, not to the extent that he was. Absolutely not. No way.
Yeah, he was just running that thing, man. It was serious. It was freaking awesome to watch. All right, I figured instead of doing like Believe It or Not or more likely to, we just take a look at the playoff picture before we get to Big Deal or No Deal. So checking it out, we got Denver in the AFC as the 1 seed, Patriots number 2, Jaguars 3, Steelers 4, Chargers 5, and the Bills 6, and Texans 7 as it currently stands. And the only team really on the bubble, other than the Ravens, who are going to battle out with Pittsburgh in the AFC North. Pittsburgh right now is 1 game up on them. They play at the end of the season. Got a couple of AFC divisional matchups in there, but the Colts and the Ravens. So the Colts at 8-6 with Phillip Rivers, man, and God bless him for what he went out and tried to do. I mean, they almost freaking won the game, but that put that more in Seattle than Indianapolis, my friend. That was just an ugly game out there, and I'm not happy. Laid 13.5 points like an idiot. But yeah, Phillip Rivers and his old dog vomits and everything. I just don't think that they have enough, the Colts, and they have a tough matchup this weekend. Well, I should say Monday Night Football with the 49ers. So if they lose that game and go to 8-7, I don't see the Texans and Jaguars really falling out of it. So I think that the 7 teams that are in now that I mentioned, I think that's it. I don't think the Colts are getting in. And the only way that Baltimore gets in is if they win the division, which is definitely possible.
Yeah, and an interesting little side note to that, too. I think the Chargers, if they end up in a tie with the Bills, I think the Chargers would get the tiebreaker over Buffalo because of the conference win percentage. So that was that's just a little something to chew on there. But yeah, I kind of even though the Texans have won 5 in a row, Jacksonville's won 4 in a row, Colts have lost 4 in a row. So the Colts kind of gave that division away. The top 4 teams, I think at this point, I think it still is going to end up for some reason being the Pittsburgh Steelers. I just think they're I don't ever want to call them the model of consistency, but I think if it's a coin flip between the Steelers and the Ravens, I just think they got a little bit. Plus, they have the 1 game cushion. It's the AFC playoff picture kind of shaped up, and then with Kansas City not being around, this is going to be a very exciting last 3 weeks, especially actually in both conferences. But there's still a lot to play for as we head into these last 2-3 weeks of the season with matchups, and the schedule makers kind of knew what they were doing when they for example, the whole Tampa Bay playing Carolina twice. Nobody thought Carolina was going to be in position they're in, and we'll get to that in a moment when we go to the NFC. But yeah, I'm kind of sticking with you on the top 6. I still think there's an outside shot that the Texans get in, but at the top 6 right now, pretty solid.
Yeah, the Texans, they could still win the division, but they're going to get in most likely. They're going to be a wild card, if not division winner. Yeah, I did pick Jacksonville to win that division. A lot of people were shocked by that, but I stuck with it throughout the year. And Jacksonville right now has got the number 3 seed. They actually played Denver this weekend, so that's going to be a game that we're going to break down in a little while. That'll be good. But yeah, I truly don't see any other teams sneaking in there. In the NFC, it's your Lions that are hanging around, and same kind of situation with Baltimore and Pittsburgh you have with the Panthers and Bucs, like you mentioned. They're going to play each other 2 out of these last 3 games, so we're going to find out a lot about them. But what you got so far is the Rams with the number 1 seed in that tiebreaker over Seattle. The Bears are number 2 right now over Green Bay, losing that game in Denver. That was a hell of a game, man. Green Bay and Denver this weekend, that was fun to watch. And you got the Eagles 3, maybe picking up a little steam after that win against the Raiders. That's a get-right game for anybody. The Buccaneers currently at 4, Seahawks at 5, my 49ers at 6, and the Packers at 7. Your Lions at 8-6 host those Pittsburgh Steelers this weekend, right? You guys host Pittsburgh this weekend, I believe?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so that's going to be a huge game for both teams, actually, because if Pittsburgh loses and Baltimore wins, it's going to come down to Baltimore-Pittsburgh, that last game of the year, them going at it, and that game is in Pittsburgh. That'll be the division right there.
As it should.
Right. And Detroit, if they want any chance, they have to win this game. Can they win this game? Absolutely. At home against Pittsburgh, is it going to be enough? And are the other teams going to fall out? I don't know. I mean, if anything, the 49ers are 10-4, the Packers are 9-4-1, and the Lions are 8-6. The Lions are probably going to have to win out if they want to have a shot at this thing.
Yeah, they're going to absolutely have to. And just to be on the safe side, they're probably going to have to hope that the Bears or Packers lose another game between now and the end of the season, because
the Packers and Bears do play each other this weekend, so one of them is going to probably get a loss. I'd be shocked if there's another tie. That would suck. No more ties.
Yeah, so hold on. Oh, there we go. I lost connection for a sec. But yeah, the Lions, I think one of the things that shocked me with the Lions is that you look at their division record, they're 1-3 in the division. You start to look back, it's like we talk about, like in baseball, it's a long season, but there's always a couple games that you can look back on, like, man, if we would have won this series or won this game here or there, we wouldn't be in a position right now where we're on the outside looking in. And I think, as it sits right now, it's going to be very tough for the Lions to go 3-0 the rest of the way, especially with some of the injuries that they have to, their defensive backfield. Laporta's still not playing. It's going to be a very, very tough road to hoe. I think all the energy that they expended when this Rams game this past week was a shootout. I think that may have took a lot out of them. You look at Dan Campbell's press conference this past week, and normally Dan Campbell's a very chipper guy in his press conference, but comes out with a couple jokes, but he just looks they look exhausted. And Dan Campbell, when you're going 100 miles an hour all the time, there's going to be a little bit of a breakdown there for a minute. And I think if the Lions miss the playoffs, I think this is going to be a big slice of humble pie for Brad Holmes and company to go out and actually make a conscious effort to improve this roster.
Yeah, the window, Jahmyr Gibbs, you're going to have to pay this guy some money if you want to keep him around. You're already paying Amon-Ra St. Brown a lot. Jameson Williams, is he going to be asking for dough? I don't know. But, the money's got to go somewhere. And to me, you're going to want to start spending money on the defensive side of the ball and hope that the offensive coaching and play in these guys, they come through. But another game that we got to watch out for on Thursday night, Seattle against the Rams. That's a big one. I hear it's going to rain in Seattle.
Yep.
Maybe no Devontae Adams, which could really hurt because Seattle's already got a pretty damn good defense. And if it's just going to be Puka Nacua, they could double him up, and Seattle might win that game. But on the other hand, Sam Darnold, since their last game against the Rams, I think it was week 11, he has been playing terrible. I think he's got, I heard the stat today, something like 16 turnovers this year.
Yeah,
and he's got like a whole bunch of them since week 11. They have not been playing good complementary football.
Well, and the key word, I'm glad you said that, Prophet, because the key word is complementary.
Right.
And I think one of the biggest reasons is that they just can't run the football. They're not running the football with any consistency at all, and that hurts. Especially when you're going against a team like the Rams, or any team that can just sit back and pin their ears and rush the passer and force Sam Darnold into making all these bad decisions and interceptions and turnovers and whatnot. I think when you look at the Seattle team as a whole, I still think the Rams are the most complete team right now in the league based on all three phases. I think Seattle is probably a second or a third, but if Seattle, these last few weeks and going into the playoffs, if Seattle's not able to run the football, they can win, 13, 14 games and lose in the first round, kind of like the Vikings did last year, being led by Sam Darnold. But they got to do something, Prophet, to address the run game, man. They have to.
Well, they keep trying. That's the interesting thing. They keep trying to run the football over and over again. It is the weirdest thing. I think their offense coordinator is Clint Kubiak, right?
I believe so, yeah.
I could look it up or whatever, but I'm going to go with that for now. I believe it's Clint Kubiak, but they keep running the ball on 2nd and 6, 2nd and 7. That's all well and good if you're getting the job done. But like you said, they're not getting the job done. And when you have to rely on Sam Darnold in the passing game, I think that we've seen that it's not something that you want to rely on. As good as JSN is, and they picked up Rashid Shaheed, and they still got Cooper Kupp. And so they got these weapons, but Sam Darnold's not making the most out of it, which is why they try to run the ball so much. And you're right, it's not working because teams are not falling for it. They're loading up the box and they're saying, yeah, bring it. and they're still trying to bring it in. It's not working. So Seattle's got to figure something out in the passing game. Otherwise, I don't think they get too far in the playoffs, bro. I really don't. And right now they're the 5th seed. So let's say they stay the 5th seed at 11-3 right now. Their first game would be against the Buccaneers or the Panthers, which they probably can win on the road. So maybe they do get a break in the first round. But if they dip below that, let's say they lose Thursday night, the 49ers could jump ahead of them by beating the Colts. So then we're looking at Seattle going on the road against Philadelphia. I don't know. They could be one and done, man. They could be one and done.
Yeah.
So when we look at them as one of the better teams.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
I was going to say, we look at them as one of the better teams in the NFL for a good part of the season, and right now they're just not that. By the way, I hear every word you're saying, but the screen is frozen. I don't know why.
Yeah, I'm looking right now. I'm seeing that there's no camera action going on. I'm trying.
Yeah, let them jump back in. I'll hold it down for a second as we talk about the playoff picture right now. The number 1 seeds, the Broncos and Rams. Is that a Super Bowl preview, or did we see one over the weekend with Green Bay and Denver? Because that was a lot of fun, man. We watched it. It was really good football. But again, with this playoff picture, I don't see any teams that are not in right now that could possibly jump in, except for the division where you got Pittsburgh and Baltimore, and you got on the other side in the NFC where you got Tampa Bay and you got Carolina. And right now, Carolina may be playing better football. Tampa Bay lost to Atlanta, a team that is playing for nothing, a team with Kirk Cousins as their quarterback, who hasn't played good football in a couple of years now. And what? So I wouldn't feel that comfortable right now with either team. Neither team, Carolina or Tampa Bay Prime, to me is that comfortable of a team that you go for in the playoffs and say, yeah, man, the Tampa Bay, they're going to get a win. Carolina, they're going to get a win. No, they're another team that looks like they're one and done. Unless they play Seattle, somebody's got to win.
Right. And then, too, I think, doesn't Tampa Bay have the tiebreaker over the Panthers because of their, I guess, the win percentage in common games? So
if they split the last couple of games, and, the records remain the same, then, yeah, Tampa Bay will get the division.
Yeah, and that's kind of what, we alluded to Lions a little bit ago. That's kind of what worries me about them, too. Even if they do make the playoffs, I'm still not 100% certain that they would actually go out there and be able to make a big run in the playoffs. So sometimes it's just kind of best to cash your chips in and focus on next season. But the goal is to always make the playoffs regardless of whether we feel you're going to be a one and done or not. And it's just very interesting that these last 2 of the last 3 games between the Bucs and the Panthers, the schedule makers, it's almost like they saw this coming. And so I kind of can't wait. Those are going to probably be a couple games that I kind of tune into just for the hell of it.
Right. I want to see competition. I mean, there's going to be a lot of games out there like the Saints and Jets. Like, who gives a damn? Like, I don't want to watch any of that crap. But, yeah, give me some competitive football. I'll take that any day, no doubt. But, yeah, I was saying as far as Tampa Bay, them losing to the Bucs. I'm losing to the Falcons on Thursday Night Football. What a freaking joke, man. I mean, you can't do that stuff if you want to be, a team that we're going to say, yeah, they belong. Just can't do it. Anyway, man, let's get to big deal or no deal because we have some games to break down, playoffs to look forward to. And I'm looking forward to big deal or no deal as Prime brings the action right now, my friend. Let's do it.
Absolutely. Big deal or no deal, sponsored by the Power 32 podcast. This is the segment of the show where I pose several scenarios to the chat and the Prophet. And you guys and the Prophet tells us whether it is a big deal or no deal. First, we're going to start off with something kind of a lighter question or scenario here. Is it more of a big deal? Chicago's season coming out of nowhere or the New England Patriots season coming out of nowhere? I mean, they're both, top 2 seeds in their respective conferences. I kind of was, pat myself on the back a little, a few weeks ago because I kind of called the Bears thing. But is it a bigger deal for the fan bases or guys like you are? Is it a bigger deal? Who's the bigger deal? Chicago's surprise season or New England's surprise season, if it's even a surprise at all?
It's got to be Chicago. I think that we expected New England to be better, maybe not this good, although they did blow a 21-point lead against Buffalo. That's another story. But I think it's bigger for Chicago because these fans have been dying for this for a long time. They haven't had a quarterback-coach combination maybe ever like this, and they finally have it, and they have a good team around them, and they have a decent – and more than a decent – they have a pretty good defense. So Chicago has been thirsting for this for a long time. Like, please give us a quarterback that can possibly take us to the promised land. It wasn't Mitchell Trubisky, God knows. It wasn't Jay Cutler. It wasn't Rex Grossman, even though we got to a Super Bowl that we mentioned earlier before against Indianapolis. So I think it's a bigger deal for Chicago. Their fan base, they deserve it, man. I've been feeling bad for this team for a long time. They got that one lonely only Super Bowl in 1985. That's it, man.
That's crazy. And you know, you got to give tribute to those fans like that, man. They brave the cold. You know, the last couple months of the season, they show big time support. Probably one of the more passionate fan bases in the NFL, man. And the fact that they're doing this well this late into the season, you know, kudos to them. So, but yeah, in Mike Vrabel and company, you and I kind of called that at the beginning of the season that they would, you know, kind of, you know, have a season similar to this, maybe not as good. I think I still picked the Bills. I think we both still picked the Bills to win.
Oh yeah, we both picked the Bills to win.
This is insane, you know. And Mike Vrabel, top candidate for Coach of the Year. So, which actually leads me to my second scenario. You mentioned it briefly, the collapse, the 21-point collapse this past weekend. Is that a big deal or no deal when you, in respect to the New England Patriots just going down in flames to Superman and the Buffalo Bills? Is that a big deal or no deal, or is that just kind of a one-off thing?
No, it's a big deal because the Buffalo Bills are a team that they had beaten earlier in the year, and now they were at home in this game, in a game that everybody was watching and they knew it, and they came through in the first half up 24-7, like you said, but blowing that lead. I just think that New England has shown us, and that they've been a constant team all year, but the big question was, who have they beaten? So it was, please beat the Bills this weekend again and show us that you're really that good of a team. And in the first half, it looked like that. But to blow the lead and to give up that many points, I know it's Josh Allen and James Cook, and that offense is sick, no doubt. But if you want to be taken seriously and saying, all right, we can beat the best teams in the NFL, and your defense is supposed to be that good under Mike Vrabel and so on and so forth, yeah, that's a big deal. There's no doubt about it, because as they go forward, they're going to play nothing but good teams from here on out when they get to the playoffs, right? So if the Bills were that test right there and they let up that amount of offense and that amount of rushing yards, that's a problem.
And I think the fact that it was at home.
At
home, know, it's one thing to lose a game at home. Yeah, but to just collapse like that, you know, Drake May and everybody running around and you know, just – it was literally a tale of two halves if you watch that game from start to finish, which,
you know, but did you even think, I never thought for a second that Buffalo was out of it.
No, absolutely. Well, because they're the highest scoring second half team in the league.
Yeah.
And they made no bones, you know, about it, mentioning that time and time again. And I've watched a lot of Buffalo games to see, and you never really feel they're out of it until they're out of it.
No,
but that was a really good, game of the year candidate as we go forward. Number 3, this is kind of one that's a little bit by proxy near and dear to my heart. How big of a deal was it exactly? How big of a deal was Daniel Jones in the success of the Indianapolis Colts as they've kind of just given the division away and lost 4 in a row? Was Daniel Jones really the glue? Daniel Jones?
No, I think that we started to see that it was falling apart before Daniel Jones' injury. He wasn't the same quarterback he was for the first 8 to 10 games of the season. And, you know, call him turning back into a pumpkin or whatever it was, maybe not that bad, but we did see him regress back to the norm, you know, back to where Daniel Jones should be, as it is in the quarterback rankings of the NFL. So, yeah, I feel bad saying it because he's a good player, and it was the feel-good story of the year for a while. Oh my God, the Colts are 8-2. Look at them go. They're winning the division. And what happened? Like you said, they totally blew it and let the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Houston Texans catch up. But again, before Daniel Jones got hurt, for that last 2 or 3 games that they had, he wasn't looking that good, and the running game wasn't there because he wasn't throwing the ball as well. Yeah. That's why you haven't seen Pittman and Warren and these guys really break out and have big games, because the quarterback play hasn't been there. So, you know, feel good story for a long time, but Daniel Jones is who he is. He didn't all of a sudden become one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL just because he went to Indianapolis.
But he did. But remember, because when they were 7-0 or 8-1 or whatever, yours truly came out here and declared that, you know, that the Indianapolis Colts at one point of this season were the best team in the NFL. And
They were for a second.
You're right though. That something happened. Something happened to where it all just fell apart for them, and I can't really put my finger on it. But yeah, I had to throw that one out there. So second to last one. So we touched on it a little bit. So the Ravens may not make the playoffs. Kansas City isn't going to make the playoffs, and Joe Burrow isn't going to make the playoffs. How big of a deal is that for Josh Allen on this playoff run for him to get to the Super Bowl? Is this finally the year? And how big of a deal is it that 3 of the top 4 quarterbacks in the NFL aren't going to be in the playoffs for all intents and purposes?
Yeah, what does that tell you? I mean, we're supposed to be like, well, quarterback is the most important position, and not just the NFL, but of all the sports. And now, some of the best quarterbacks aren't going to be there. It's like, okay, yeah, Trevor Lawrence and C.J. Stroud, we like these guys, but where's Mahomes and where's Lamar? Okay, I'm with you. Where's Joe Burrow? So it is a big deal, but people are still going to watch football regardless. So it's not going to be that big a deal as far as ratings are concerned or anything like that. But yeah, I mean, the fact that they're not there and the fact that Josh Allen, we know, is going to be in, and he is the best quarterback left standing in the AFC. You can say what you want about Bo Nix and Drake May. Josh Allen is better than both of them any freaking day of the week. There's no question. Can't even argue it. There's nothing to argue. Yeah, they're going to say, look, this should be the year that the Buffalo Bills should win it. Now, if they don't, I don't think their window is necessarily closed. We talk about Sean McDermott, and we can talk about that more as our shows go on and everything. He may not be around if they don't get the job done this year, because really, this is it. Best quarterback, a veteran head coach. You guys have been in the AFC Championship a couple of times already. Go out there and do it, man.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And this I think would be a huge indictment on the Buffalo Bills if they don't make the playoffs, with all things being considered, with basically, like you said, him being the best quarterback standing. So in Denver, 11 in a row, we talked about it last week, probably the most disrespected team in the NFL right now. But I can't wait till the playoffs start. It's going to be kind of bittersweet, because when the playoffs start, that means we're heading towards the end of the season. So last one. This is I need you to put your general manager hat on right now.
Okay.
So Kansas City misses the playoffs for the first time in 10 years. Give me your rebuild scenario and tell me what you would do to kind of fix a very predictable, a very vanilla, a very un-Kansas City-like team when they were making their dominant Super Bowl runs. What would you do to get this team back on track going into next season?
Now that Mahomes is aging, he's not old, he's aging, you want to start getting him as much help as you possibly can, which means protecting him on the offensive line. Make sure he's standing upright. You'd like to get some sort of running game where you're averaging more than 3.2 yards a carry, or whatever the hell they're averaging right now, maybe even less than that. And yeah, you need to build around your guy again. Now, Mahomes gave them a real friendly contract where he spread it out over like 10 years. So how's that? But they're not really paying many other guys. So they're going to have to start dishing out money to pay some of these guys. And they do draft well for the most part, but they've missed on wide receivers. I don't think Xavier Worthy is a hit. I like Rashee Rice, no doubt, but I look around at the rest of that offense. Travis Kelce is aging, so you got to get Mahomes help. But the thing is, they need help in so many areas right now that you're going to have to rebuild through the draft as well. So the thing, Prime, is that there really is no one good answer for that. It's not just the offensive line. It's not just the secondary. It's not just the run game. They need all of it. They really do. And Mahomes, who's going to be on the other side of 30 coming up real soon, he's going to need as much help as he possibly can. Yeah,
I agree 100%. And then you kind of look at it too, from a how long is Andy Reid going to still, going to stick around? I think you kind of touched on it, that this team was able to hide a lot of their flaws because Patrick Mahomes was playing just next level football. And now that like you said, now he's injured, a ACL. So now he's going to have, this is going to be a test for him going into next season, coming back off of a major injury. Kansas City is going to be a very, very interesting team to watch going into next season, starting with the draft. I don't think they'll probably do anything huge in free agency, but this Kansas City is going to be the team that everybody wants to see next season, because they're going to want to see how Patrick Mahomes comes off this injury.
Yeah, well, will they bounce back? It'll be interesting. I don't know. They need another year or two to really come around and get a second version of the Chiefs, like we saw a second version of the Patriots. You know, it wasn't the same. You know, they went 10 years without winning a Super Bowl, the Patriots. It took a long time for them to get back to what they wanted to be. So I think for the Chiefs, it's not a retool, it is a rebuild.
Oh, wow.
Not just, you can't just go out and get a couple of players here and there and think you're going to mask the Band-Aid, like you said. No. You got to go out and get a lot of players and be smart about it. And yeah, you are going to have to spend money. There's no doubt. But this is definitely a rebuild. And while Patrick Mahomes is still obviously relatively young, and still, when it comes down to it, the best quarterback in the NFL, even over Josh Allen, as much as we love him right now, Patrick Mahomes has been the best quarterback in the NFL since he stepped foot on a freaking NFL field. All right. Other than Tom Brady, of course. But we know what we're saying over here. So, yeah. A lot to be desired over there in KC, and they may be in for a couple of years before they get back to the playoffs and they get back to winning that division. It may take a bit.
And kind of alluding to your point with all the other teams getting better, you know, the Chargers and the Broncos and, you know, the Colts for all intents and purposes this year. Yeah, so it's going to be very interesting. So here's like a final thought, a big deal or no deal. Now, give me 3 minutes. A lot of people, the narrative over the last 5 years, 10 years is that the NFL is a passing league now. The running back is devalued. And, you know, this great evolution that we talk about that people have promoted over the last few years, it kind of irritates me because I see that to not be true. So rather than just say it, I did a little bit of digging and I went back to 2005 to the present. And I'll give you the abbreviated version. So since 2005, passing yards have only increased on average by 9 yards a game. Scoring has only improved by 2.5 points per game on average. Completion percentage is between 60 and 64% for the last 20 years. Passing attempts is between 32 and 35 on average, and completions are 20 to 23 on average going back to the last 20 years. There's been some upswings here and there, but for the last 20 years, that's been the average. But here's the running back myth that I want to debunk. Going back to 2005, rushing yards have actually, on average, increased by 4 yards a game. Rushing attempts have been down only 2 per game. So you got the narrative is that it's turned into this passing league, like we're talking like arena football, and it really hasn't. And it makes me sick to my stomach when people constantly say that. And if you look over the last 20 years, every statistic has been pretty much the same going back the last 20 years when you talk about some of the major categories. Even first downs, you know, have been the same. You know, it's just like, it's like one person says something, other people latch onto it, and then that becomes the prevailing opinion, when if you actually went back and did the research, you would see that really not a lot's changed over the last 20 years.
I think that we've seen so many great quarterbacks in the league come around since Peyton Manning and Tom Brady did, that we maybe just our brain is prone to believe that it's been more about passing and more about, you know, the pass game and quarterbacks. And it's just because we've had so many great ones come around during that time. It's been, we've been spoiled, bro. We really have. We've had so many great players, whether it's Brady and Manning or Roethlisberger or Rodgers or even going to Favre. I mean, he was still doing his thing. Now we got Mahomes and Allen and Lamar. I mean, it's freaking unbelievable. I mean, we got all these great players.
Yeah, and I just had to get that off my chest because, you know, passing yards.
That's a good stat.
203 in 2005, 212 now. Rushing yards, 112 in 2005, 116 now. Rushing attempts, 28, 2005, 26 now. Scoring 20.6 in 2005, 23.2 now. So I think there's more teams as a whole that may want to get away from or don't run it the way but as the league as a whole, the needle really hasn't moved in the last 20 years. So I just wanted to get that off my chest.
No, I like that. That's a really good stat. I like that stuff right there. That's interesting to show that the league really hasn't changed that much and that the best teams usually can run the ball and play defense. I mean, look what happened last year. Saquon Barkley in that defense, you know, say what you want. They had great players all over the place, but not a great coach. So, I think great players can outplay, a mediocre coach, which Nick Sirianni. Do I even have a right to say that? Nick Sirianni's a mediocre coach? I mean, this guy, what right do I have to say that guy's a mediocre coach? He won a freaking Super Bowl, been to another one. He wins the division in the last, 4 years or whatever it's been. Right. I know it's been on and off, but they've been division winners. I mean, and they're going to win it again. Because Dallas blew it again, and I told you they were going to lose to Minnesota. And you're looking at the guy.
Yes, you did. Yes,
I told you they were going to lose. And damn, that does bring us to our Week 15 picks, where we had a really good week, you and me. I went 12-4. You went 11-5. So you're still way up on the season ahead of me. And as far as the Freaky Fantasy Football Draft, I just had another monster week at 95 points, and I took you down again.
Man, stop your freaking brag. You know what? Nobody likes a bragger. Nobody likes a bragger. Right. Prop. No, just
true.
Brag on, my brother. Brag on.
Trying to Drew Brees through it over here, so I don't look like a freaking bragging putz that I am.
Brag on, my
Let us pick some games then, shall we?
Yes, sir. Let's do it.
All right. So we got the Rams and the Seahawks. We mentioned that a little bit earlier. That's the first game coming up Thursday Night Football. I am interested to hear what you think about that. Davante Adams may not be playing. All right. They're both 11-3. This game will go a long way in determining who's the division leader, if not the San Francisco 49ers. So who do you like here, Rams or the Seattle Seahawks? And the game is in Seattle. Again, probably no Davante Adams, and I hear it's going to rain.
Yeah, so I'm thinking I'm leaning a little bit more towards the Seahawks, and not because I think the Seahawks are the better team. It's just because of the battle that just took place on Sunday between the Rams and the Lions. I think that game, the Rams laid it all out on the line. That game meant a lot to them. And so they're actually a 1.5 point favorite, which is basically a coin toss. I'm going to probably take the Seahawks in this game. And like I said, the only reason I'm doing that is because of the short week for Matthew Stafford and company. You know how I feel about the Rams. They're still going to be my Super Bowl pick regardless if they win the division or not. But that short week, and then the fact that Davante Adams may not play, still got enough other weapons across the board. You can get it done. But I think the weather and the short week may be the Rams' undoing this week.
All right. Very interesting. I'm going to go with the Rams. I think they've been the better team. They've been running this 13 personnel, which is kind of very odd. They have 3 tight ends on the field a lot of the time. And that's going to help when they only have that one receiver in Puka Nacua and Davante Adams. If he does play, he's not going to be at his best. They can run the ball really well. Again, something that you talked about, mentioned before, Seattle is struggling with. Darnold is not playing his best, so I don't see them having a good game offensively, especially against the Rams defense, despite giving up 34 points against Detroit, is a really good defense. That's just a fabrication what happened over the weekend. They're not going to give up 34 points if they don't have to. They just kind of let the Lions, get in the end zone toward the end of the game and whatnot. So the Rams are the better team. I know that it's on the road in Seattle on a short week. All the reasons why you should go with the Seahawks. But I'm going to take the Rams in this one, my friend, and take the division lead right there.
There you go.
So we're going to go back against each other on that one as we move on to the NFC East. And the Eagles are at 9-5, going to Washington to play the 4-10 Commanders. What do you think?
Well, this is going to be my first lock.
Yeah.
This is going to be my first lock. The Eagles are 6.5 point favorite. I just, without going too much into detail, the Eagles are just the better team. The Washington Commanders actually won a game and probably hurt their draft status a little bit this week by doing so, or this past week by doing so. But yeah, the Philadelphia Eagles are still, to me, the class of the NFC East. And I would be utterly shocked if they went into, because they still have something to play for. They don't, Dallas, if Dallas wins out and Philly loses 2 out of the last 3 games or something, that can change the whole complexion of that division as we head down the stretch. But yeah, there's no way Philadelphia loses this game. So that's going to be my first lock.
I'm going with Philly. I'm going to lock it also because I don't like a ton of games on the schedule that I feel real comfortable locking. And Philly should win on the road. They want to solidify that, winning the NFC East and maybe even getting the number 2 seed is probably the best they can do right now. The number 1 seed, I just don't see them getting there at that point. I mean, the Rams at 11-3, probably going to be 12-3. Well, one of these teams will be 12-3 after, unless they freaking tie, which will really piss me off. So
oh my God.
I'll do that. But yeah, I'll lock the Eagles as well. And next up, we got a lot of good games, man. NFC North battle. Packers 9-4-1 go to the Bears, who are 10-4. I know you're loving the Bears, man. This is going to be a really tough game. I know the Packers are pissed off about losing that game in Denver, and their defense is mad, but they did lose Micah Parsons, man. He's out. Dude, this is a tough one. I'm almost at a coin flip on this one, Prime. What do you got?
Well, and so is Vegas. It's 1.5. Green Bay is actually favored by 1.5 for this game. I'm looking at it. This will be a game right here to determine or to show people how big of a piece that Micah Parsons really was. Was it just that one guy that made that defense so much better that when he's not there, the Packers defense just kind of curls into the fetal position and goes away? I'm looking right now. I'm taking the Bears in this one. We talked about the game a couple weeks ago when in Lambeau, that game was one of the most electric games that I've seen in a long time from a crowd standpoint, from an atmosphere standpoint. But the Bears, give me the Bears to win this one, get a little bit of revenge, and keep their stronghold on the NFC North.
Yeah, this one is really tough, man. Green Bay, you think they're going to bounce back after that loss, but Chicago, they took care of business, and they're not a team that is just winning games, eking it out. I mean, regardless, Shedeur Sanders, the quarterback for Cleveland, they have no offense to begin with. They beat them like 31-3 or whatever it is. They pounded them. So Chicago at home again with that crowd. Yeah, and I'm not a huge Jordan Love guy, even though he's a little bit better than I give him credit for. I'm going to take Chicago in this one too, so I'll agree with you.
Yeah,
I'll agree. All right, Chicago to improve to 11-4. The Bears.
Now I need them to lose for to
have your Lions
to win, right? But yeah.
You want Green Bay to lose every possible game and have the Lions come back. That's what you want. It's easier to catch them than it would be the Bears at this point. Right. So let the Bears win. I'm with you. All right, next up, the battle for the NFC South, the Bucs at the Panthers, both of them 7-7. I'll go first in this game. I don't like the way that Tampa Bay is playing football. It's unmotivated. You've been calling Baker Mayfield out for weeks, like, where's his energy? Where's what he used to be? All this and that. I don't know where it's at. And I don't love Carolina either. I mean, you can't go into a shitty New Orleans team and lose to the Saints the way that you did. You just can't do that. So they're very Jekyll and Hyde. So I don't know which one is worse, Jekyll or Hyde, but they're going to be one of them over the weekend, and I'm going to take the Panthers.
We kind of talked about this last week about how every team, it seems like even the really good teams this season have had bad losses. The Rams lost to the aforementioned Carolina Panthers and got their asses kicked. So every good team, New England, the collapse this past week. So the Jekyll and Hyde thing with the Carolina, but to your point, you don't have any reason at all to lose to the Saints, and they did just that. I'm gonna go out on a limb here, and I'm gonna say that the Buccaneers -3 get their act together and pull this one out and get the kind of avoid the whole tiebreaker situation, at least for this week, over the Carolina Panthers.
I hear you. Look, Mike Evans back. You got your wide receiver core for the first time all season long. They're healthy. You got Bucky Irving back. I mean, they got the better team. So, at some point, you got to point your finger and say, is this a Baker Mayfield problem? Is it a defensive problem? Or is this a head coaching problem with Todd Bowles? I don't know. I like Todd Bowles. I'm a fan of his. So I kind of turn my head to the defense a little bit, even though he is a defensive guy. So I don't know who to put blame at, but the team is not what they were at the beginning of the year when people were saying, oh, wow, they could contend for a Super Bowl.
Well, hell, we were talking about Baker Mayfield for MVP, after week 6.
For a few, we were. You're right.
But like you always say, it's a long season and matchups.
That's right. You got it, man. And the Bills, they put us through a long season. We were questioning them for a little while, but again, they come back real strong, beat New England in New England. Now they go to Cleveland to play the Browns. The Bills are 10-4. The Browns at 3-11. Cleveland just has no offense at all. I love what their defense is doing. I think the Bills win a really close game, to be honest. I think the defense for Cleveland is really going to show up. Myles Garrett will probably sack Josh Allen at least once in this game. But
really,
I think the Bills, I think he will get him once. He's that good. I mean, he's been sacking everybody that he's ever met in his entire life. I mean, sacks people on the street. He sacks people in the streams.
Hey, remember those old ESPN commercials? What was that guy?
Oh, yeah.
The office linebacker just going through and just railing people to the ground. That's kind of what Myles Garrett. He's 2.5 sacks away from tying the record and 3 full sacks away from from breaking the record. And I don't know. The Bills are actually favored by 10.5 this week.
10.5. That's a
10
lot. Because they thinking the Bills, they still have a shot at the division possibly. So they're thinking, you know what? All right, let's give them heavy favorites right now, Buffalo. Yeah, I'm definitely going with Buffalo on this one because they're looking to still win that division. And the Patriots have the Ravens, right? Yeah, the Patriots have the Ravens this weekend. So they're going into Baltimore. We'll talk about that game in a little bit. But so that's the thing. The division very much in play for Buffalo.
Yeah, and I think this is going to be one of those games where Buffalo kind of just, all right, let's go in here, get the win, and get out. They're probably not going to do anything fancy, anything record-breaking. They just want to go into Cleveland because it's going to be freezing. It's going to be cold. They want to go in here, get in and get out healthy, and then hope that the Patriots lose. So, but yeah, give me the Bills in this one. This is my second lock.
No doubt. Oh, that's right. I forgot I didn't lock this one. I'm locking it as well. So we agree over there. Say what's up to McNiner in the house. What's up?
McNiner, what up, Doe?
Sea chickens. Yeah, want Seattle to beat the Rams. I'm with you on that one. I want Seattle to win as well because screw the Rams, man. Wow. You know, I think that we can beat Seattle again. So let's beat them and take the division. Let's get it, McNiner. Let's get the division, baby. I want it. I want it.
Oh, my God.
I'll take that number 2 seed. All right. So we're both on Buffalo. We're locking it in. Next game, interesting one. The Cowboys, nothing left to play for at 6-7-1, but they are hosting the LA Chargers at 10-4, who took care of business and wiped the Chiefs out from playoff contention over the weekend with that really tough defense, man. So interesting game over here. Offense versus defense. Who comes out on top? Cowboys or Chargers?
The Chargers need this one, I think, to if nothing else, to maybe improve their playoff seeding a little bit. They probably won't get a number 1 seed, but, you know, they can still move up a little bit. Plus, they want to just go into the playoffs playing good football. I think Harbaugh, this is the time of year where Harbaugh actually earns that paycheck and kind of keeps his team focused. Say, hey, look, we're playing a team that really has nothing to play for, but these are the types of teams that can reach up and bite you in the ass. And if nothing else, Dallas wants to prove that they got a bright future and that, they want to do well these last 2-3 games to show everybody, hey, going into next season, we're going to be a problem for a lot of teams. But at this point of the game, Dallas is actually favored by 2.5 in this one. But I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and take the Chargers in this game simply because I'm such a Jim Harbaugh fan.
I know you love Harbaugh
and Justin Herbert.
That's true. Your Oregon quarterback and your Michigan head coach. You got the freaking match made in heaven right there. You should be a Charger fan. That should be your third team, no doubt. You know, I was high on the Chargers at the beginning of the year. I'm going to take them also because I believe that still in the NFL, as you were talking about, not many things have changed, and defense beats offense. So I'm going to take the Chargers beating the Cowboys in Dallas. Again, the Dallas Cowboys have nothing left to play for. Pickens hasn't shown up in a few weeks, and he's got to get back on track. Next game, I don't want to talk about for more than 30 seconds. Not even 15 seconds. Jets 3-11, Saints 4-10. Saints, they lose at home. I'm going to take the New York Jets, and I have no idea why.
I'm going to take the Jets too next.
I love it. Moving on. All right, maybe we'll spend more than 15 seconds on this one because it's your New York Giants. God, the Jets and the Giants, man. Oh my God, for such a long time, they have both been the laughing stocks in New York. It's unbelievable. Yeah. Man, the Jets 3-11, the Giants are 2-12. Oh, God. I'm sorry, Prime. I know you love them, but they're hosting the Vikings, who went out and beat Dallas. Go figure. They're 6-8. I don't know who to pick in this one. The Giants, they got some grit, but they can't finish games. No. They just can't finish them. So that's why I got to take Minnesota. They're a better team all around. And the Giants, they just don't know how to win right now. So I got to go Minnesota.
I think the Giants, when they were having those, early in the season, when they were having those close games, and it was looking like, okay, maybe we're onto something, and then that few week span where they just started blowing fourth quarter leads and couldn't get out of their own way, I think that kind of dejected this team, which is one of the things that led to the firing of Brian Daboll. Give me the Vikings in this one. I'm not going to spend a lot of time going to the Vikings. I need the Vikings to win this game so that we can maintain our current draft status. We're the New York Giants. So give me the Vikings.
If you get the number 1 pick, you'd be looking to probably sell that bad boy, because I don't know if you're going to go ahead and take the kid from Indiana, Fernando. What's his name?
Mendoza, Heisman
Mendoza,
Trophy
thank you
winner.
very much. Yeah, sir. But you got Jackson Dart. So if you believe in Jackson Dart, if the Giants get that number 1 overall pick, sell that bad boy. Stock up on picks, man.
You said that with a straight face, and that bothers me. You have Jackson Dart. You know what? Yeah, I got.
You don't like Dart? You don't like Dart?
I like him, but I don't know. We'll see.
Jackson Fart.
We'll see.
Jackson Fart. Yeah, well, they can't win, so that's something to be right there. And the Titans, they can't win either. They're 2-12. Maybe they'll get the number 1 pick. And will they take Fernando Mendoza? They got Cam Ward. So what the hell's going on over here? Everybody's going to trade out of the number 1 pick. The Titans, they are 2-12, hosting the Chiefs without Patrick Mahomes, 6-8. Can't believe it. They're out of the playoffs, man. Can they beat Tennessee at home?
You know what, Prophet? I was almost tempted to take the Titans in this one, but Gardner Minshew's the backup. So there's not a big drop off between Mahomes and Gardner Minshew. So I almost made it through that without laughing.
I couldn't.
I still think that just simply the Chiefs still have the better team, better coaching. And I still think that even as a backup, I think Gardner Minshew is a better quarterback than Cam Ward. So give me the Chiefs in this one, even though they're not playing. They're probably still playing for a little bit of respect right now because there's so many people talking shit. But a lot of people out there love to throw dirt on the Chiefs, but I'm going to go ahead and pick them to win this game.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I got the Chiefs also in this game for no other reason than the Titans suck. They've been so freaking bad all year long. And Tony Pollard's been putting together a couple of nice games over here, so maybe they feed him the ball. And the Chiefs defense, I don't know. They played pretty good against the Chargers, but yeah, the Chiefs should win this game, man. And they better win this game. The Titans are garbage, and the Titans should be trying to lose, if anything.
Right. Just like the Giants. Tank.
Yeah, seriously. Man. The Bengals should be tanking. They're 4-10. Joe Burrow, I don't even know if he's going to be there next year the way that he's been talking lately. So they're going to play Miami in Miami. Tua Tagovailoa may not even be the quarterback, bro.
That's
Things
crazy.
that I'm hearing lately. Wow, is it going to be Quinn Ewers or what? Dude, I can't believe this crap. That's nuts, man. But if Burrow and the boys are playing against a rookie quarterback in Miami, which I think is what's going to happen because the season is gone. So Mike McDaniel, if he's been told that he's going to be the head coach going into next year, you best be damn sure that he's going to want to try to find the best option at quarterback. And he even said so much, not going into next year, but he said, well, didn't really see good play out of the quarterback last night, referring to Tua against Pittsburgh. And he said that he's not making any promises. I'm paraphrasing as far as who was going to be starting this weekend. So, with all that being said, even though Cincinnati didn't put up one fucking point at home, made me sick because I took Cincinnati over Baltimore. Made me sick.
How does that happen?
They could not put up. One of the best offenses in the league. You're home. You got Baltimore, who is not that great of a team. Obviously, it's 7-7. You can't put up one fucking point. Are you kidding me?
This isn't the Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, Baltimore defense.
No, it is not.
I saw that, I'm like, okay, they're going to score something. They're going to score something. They're going to score
Burrow
something.
throwing an interception right at the goal line. Like, what's going on here?
That might have been one of the surprises of the year, as far as them getting shut out like that. That was crazy. But yeah, I'm going to still take the Bengals. Everything you said about Tua, it's funny because 2 weeks ago, everybody was on the bandwagon. Like, hey, Miami's won 3-4 in a row. Things are looking up, blah, blah, blah. And then they go, but it's the whole cold weather thing, I think, with the Dolphins historically. So
no doubt.
Can you pin all this strictly on Tua? Maybe not. But like you say, the nerdy guy is pulling out all the stops because he's trying to save his job.
Bro, if you're going to play NFL playoff football, you better play in the cold. You're going to play in cold weather. Miami's they're not going to be hosting the AFC Championship every year. We all know that. So you have to learn to play in the cold weather. Otherwise, you're not going to win. And they can't do it. Tua cannot win when it's under 40 degrees. So right now, he would not be doing well where you live at this moment in time. Not at all.
Absolutely not.
Under 40. Oh, man. All right. Under a 40 winning percentage, the Falcons and the Cardinals. Next game up. Not going to spend a lot of time on this one, but we got Atlanta at 5-9. Kirk Cousins still the quarterback. And the Cardinals, we got Jacoby Brissett, Kyler Murray. Where's he going to be next year at 3-11? That'll be something to talk about in the offseason. But we got Atlanta at Arizona. Who do you like and why?
I'm at this point, that's kind of like
good answer
what was the Saints and the Jets that we just kind of, give me the Cardinals in this one simply because they're at home, even though they're a 2.5-point dog. Give me the Cardinals simply because they're at home. And having said that, watch Kyle Pitts go for another 45 points like he did last, and he sat on my bench.
Yeah, Arizona's losing players on offense left and right, and Atlanta, they showed that they can score. When you got Bijan Robinson and all of a sudden Kyle Pitts coming out of nowhere, you need to have a healthy Drake London. That makes things a lot better, no doubt about it. Now, I'm going to take Atlanta on the road because they actually do play pretty decent defense when they feel like it, and maybe they got a little pep in their step, and they want to keep Raheem Morris as their head coach going into next year, and they play for him. Go play for your head coach right there. Do it for him. I'm going to take Atlanta. I'm going to take Atlanta.
Yeah. So you're saying that Arizona's not playing for Jonathan Gannon? Is that what you're? Is that what you're? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Oh gosh, no, Jonathan Gannon, God bless you, man. But yeah, you're going to be out of a job by the end of the year.
He'll be a coordinator somewhere next year, but he won't be a head coach.
Yeah, somewhere probably in New Orleans because they don't know what the hell they're doing over there. Well, they got Brandon Faley now, so they're kind of happy with him as their defensive coordinator. All right, next up. Best game of the weekend, probably, or maybe on paper at least. The Jacksonville Jaguars at 10-4 go to Denver to take the 12-2 first seed. Broncos, man. I've been loving Jacksonville. Like I said earlier, I picked them to win the AFC South before the season started. One of the few people that thought that they would have a good year under Liam Cohen, who may be the head coach of the year, which I did pick to be that. That's still possible. It's out there. It's up there. You never know what may be, but maybe Sean Payton wins it. They're 12-2. Really interesting game this weekend, Prime. I'm going to take the Broncos mostly because they're at home and they've shown they can beat good teams. And I'm looking at the rest of the schedule, man. Denver, look, they're coached really well. The quarterback plays really well. They have a good run game. Their defense, everything about Denver is like, yeah, I'm not surprised they're the number 1 seed right now. Give me Denver.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Broncos as well. The odds get thinner as the win streak increases. You know, they've won 11 in a row right now. Can they make it 12? This will be a hard fought game. I'm actually going to make sure I tune into this one. Denver -3. But again, like we talked about the Colts in a couple games earlier this season, this is going to be one of those games where if Jacksonville, if you are for real and you want people to take you seriously, then this is the type of game that you got to win. But I don't think they get it done.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one. And McKnight are coming in. Come on now. Texas are harder than the sun. They're winning the AFC South. I'm saying in the beginning of the year, I picked Jacksonville to win the AFC South, but I'm not going to go away from that still. I mean, Jacksonville's playing good football, especially on offense, man. I know it was the Jets. I totally get it. But Trevor Lawrence is playing pretty damn good football right now. They really are. And what's McKnight? I got the Broncos were his pick to win the AFC West. Yeah. Yep. They're pretty much going to do that unless the Chargers have a little something to say. But Jacksonville, they're playing good football, so I expect a good football game, and I think we'll get that. But we're both on Denver in that one. And again, I'm locking this one up. I know it's weird against a really good Jaguar team, but I'm sorry, I'm not locking this game up. I'm not locking this game up. I locked 2 so far. I thought I had to get a third one. My third one is coming right now, as a matter of fact. We talked about this should be a tough game. All right, maybe I should lock the Broncos because I'm going to lock in the next game. No, you know what? Yeah, this is too easy. I have to lock the Texans in. Got to lock in the Texans, man. It's way too easy. They're playing the Raiders. They're at home. Texans need the game. No brainer. They've been playing really good football. Like McNider just said, they're hotter than the freaking sun. So give me Houston, and that'll be my final lock.
You know what, though? But so is Jacksonville. Jacksonville's been maybe not as hot as the sun, but maybe as hot as Mercury. Actually, Venus is actually, and a lot of people don't know this, is me nerding out for 10 seconds. Venus is actually hotter than Mercury because of the density of the atmosphere on Venus. So that's your little
Mr. Science.
That's your solar system. Your little Bill Nye science moment for the day. But yeah, Venus is actually hotter than Mercury, even though Mercury's close to the sun. But I'm gonna surprise you with my next lock. So I'm not gonna lock this game.
You're not locking Houston.
I'm gonna pick Houston, but I'm not gonna lock it. I'm gonna surprise you. I'm gonna surprise you with my lock.
Well, and then I have a feeling where you're going with this one. Then could it be the next game we're going to talk about where the Pittsburgh Steelers go play your Detroit Lions? The Lions need the game real bad. Is that where you're locking up, brother?
That's why I'm locking up. You know me very well. 6.5-point favorites. That's crazy. But Pittsburgh can't score. They can't score. Whether it's indoors, outdoors, it doesn't matter. Pittsburgh can't score consistently. and we know the Lions can. So even if this is a shootout, the over-under is 51.5, by the way. But
Yeah.
I'm locking the Lions. It's a must-win game. We got to have this. The Pride needs this one, and I'm locking this one. I'm taking the Lions over the Steelers in a lock. Ford Field.
Prime says the Pride needs it. He's taking the Lions in a lock in this one over Pittsburgh, who has been playing not as bad football as many people would think. I know, look, their record right now is only 8-6, like the Lions, which is nothing to say, oh my gosh, about. But you know what? Pittsburgh, they've done a good job in the red zone. When they get Kenneth Gainwell involved, their offense really starts running better. So, I mean, yeah, they can play. They had, I think, 2 tight ends rush for touchdowns last night, Jonnu Smith being another one of them. It's just, they get creative. And Mike Tomlin, God bless the guy. He can't lose at home on Monday Night Football. Unbelievable. Unreal. All right. So, yeah, I'm with you on Detroit, but my third lock is Houston on that one. Bringing us to Sunday Night Football. I mentioned it earlier. The Patriots are going to Baltimore to play the Ravens. The Pats are 11-3, coming off their first loss in a long time against Baltimore, 7-7. Baltimore needs to game really, really bad, Prime. Is that enough of a reason to pick them because they need to game really, really bad?
Oh, man. Well, the Ravens are actually favored by 2.5 in this one, which is kind of surprising. I think they did that simply because they think the Ravens are going to come out like gangbusters because they do need this game. But I don't see New England losing 2 in a row. Buffalo fans need them to lose, and so I think the Patriots win, and it still remains a stranglehold, a tight situation between the Steelers and the Ravens as we head in the last 2 weeks. So give me New England in this one.
Yeah, I think I'm going to surprise you, man. I'm going to go with New England as well. They are the better team. And again, I did say before, well, the first time they got step up to the plate and had to play a really tough team, I know it was the second time it was Buffalo, but it was Buffalo, and Buffalo punched them in the mouth in that second half. I don't know if Baltimore's got that firepower on offense to be able to do that. They didn't have an offensive showing against Cincinnati. I mean, their defense scored half the freaking points as it was anyway. So I'm with you, man. New England's a better team. I'm going to take the Patriots on the road on Sunday Night Football. Should be going to watch, which brings us to the San Francisco 49ers, who are the quietest 10-4 team you've ever seen in your entire life.
Ever.
I love it.
Ever.
I love it. Love it. They're going to Indianapolis to take on them damn Colts, man. Phillip Rivers, look, Phillip Rivers, God bless him, doggone it. He can't throw the ball more than 10 yards down the field. I mean, he just can't. The 49ers know this. I mean, Rob Saleh is going to be saliving all over the
field. There you go.
Eating this guy up for freaking dinner on Monday Night Football. The 49ers win. Look, they're going to put up 35 points no matter what. It's a matter of how many do the Colts score. I don't think that many, man. The 49ers win comfortably in this one on Monday Night Football.
They're actually a 6.5 point favorite in this game, but I don't.
On the road, how do you like that?
I don't think point spread matters in this one, and I think for this, Sam, give me the 49ers in this one. In this one, this is one of those games with that defense. You just hope that Phillip Rivers makes it through without sustaining an injury.
Yeah, really, no kidding. Gosh, yeah, well, we're nice. The 49ers are nice. We're just going to tackle him gently to the floor. We're not going to hurt him that bad.
2-hand touch.
You down,
pull his towel out of his waist and flag football style. There you go.
Oh, man. His belly was sticking so far out the other day, man. He probably couldn't see his feet.
He's a granddad now, man. He's got that granddad belly.
God bless him. And he's still younger than I am, so I should shut the hell up, all right, with my gray hair over here. My goodness. All right, so those are the weekly picks. Week 16, like Prime said, bittersweet because it means the NFL season is coming to an end, but the greatest part is yet to come. All right, one last thing to do, Freaky Fantasy Football Draft. We got our quarterback, wide receiver, running back, tight end, and defense to pick from. We're going to do this thing right now. You ready to go, Prime?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, I did win, so I'm going to make the first pick. And looking at my list right now of teams and everything I got left, I know it's weird, but I'm going to take the defense first because I'm afraid you're going to. So let me take the Texans defense against the Raiders at home. That'll be my first pick in the Freaky Fantasy Football Draft.
Don't hurt yourself going out on a limb there. I mean, I'm going to shock you with the defense that I'm taking because you get 2 off the bat, don't you?
No, I just
Or
get
you?
one. But look at McNiner over here. He said only reason Philip Rivers came back is because he's got 7 kids to put through
There
college
you go. He
and
made all that.
grandkids to put through college. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
insane, man. Who else was out there that they could have picked up? Just real quick. I
Oh
don't
man. I
know.
mean, what people sitting at home? I hope this is not the new thing. Let's find people sitting at home who were good like 10 years ago and bring them back and
Because I
play
think
for them.
Tom Brady might be,
Oh, geez.
oh,
He's
that
old.
would be awesome. That would make my millennium if Tom Brady.
Brady's pushing 50, man. I don't know
Brett
about
Favre.
that.
Brett Favre. He
Yeah,
needs to pay
yeah.
back all that welfare fraud that he. Anyway, I won't get into that. Sorry, Brett. Sorry, Brett. I love you, man. You're one of my all-time favorites. Anyway, I'm gonna pick my defense first too. I'm gonna pick the Detroit Lions defense.
Oh, okay.
To lock down the Pittsburgh
You're
Steelers.
not thinking that Pittsburgh Steelers ain't going to do shit. Okay,
no, it's the up and down theory. And then for my quarterback, I'm gonna take your guy. I'm gonna go. I haven't picked this guy. I'm gonna take CJ Stroud.
Oh, okay. I like it. Good move. Good team to do it against too. I like that move right there. All right. I get my second pick. I get 2 picks right now. I think I'm going to do a little combination here, my friend. And you know how much I like my combos, and it's been working out pretty damn good for me. Give me Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown. Against the Washington Commanders.
You can have that.
Yeah.
You can have that. I might actually win this week. I might actually win this week.
I love it.
No,
I love it.
That's actually. I was actually going to go Jalen Hurts, but I thought to myself that I had already picked him earlier in the season. But anyway, so for my running back, I'm gonna. This is probably going to shock some people. I'm going to go Rico Dowdle.
That's a good pick right there, man.
Carolina Panthers this week. I'm hoping that he has one of those spectacular games that he had up until the last couple. He was on a roll for me.
Carolina will likely win.
Yeah.
If he has a big game, Carolina will likely win, no doubt. All right, you can still go also wide receiver or tight end.
I'm going to do the combo thing. I'm taking a page out of your book, so give me Nico.
Ooh,
Nico Collins.
Nice.
The University of Michigan.
All right. You got your tight end left. We'll get to that. I got running back and tight end, so I'm going to go with that was a good pick right there. Give me Devon Achane against the Cincinnati Bengals for Miami. And my tight end is going to be Gardner Minshew is going to have to rely on the tight end in this game. So you know what? I'm going to take Travis Kelce.
Oh, the ageless wonder, Travis Kelce.
Yeah, I'm going to take him.
I think
he's going to get in the end zone. I think he gets in the end zone, man. So I'm gonna do that. All right, my team is complete. You just got to pick your tight end, and then we call it a wrap, my friend.
Well, has there been a better tight end combination this season than DK and DK in Buffalo with Kincaid and Knox? And I'm taking Knox, right? I'm going to take Dawson Knox for my tight. Those two guys, and especially him. They come on, they're spoiled right now with those two. And but yeah, if they get a true number 1 receiver, Buffalo's going to be lethal next year. But yeah, give me Dawson Knox.
Dawson Knox. All right, we're waiting for Brandon Cooks to show up and make his appearance for Buffalo. We'll see if that happens this weekend. So Prime, you've got CJ Stroud paired up with Nico Collins, Rico Dowdle, Dawson Knox in the Detroit Lions defense. I got Jalen Hurts paired up with A.J. Brown, Devon Achane from the Dolphins, Travis Kelce, and the Texans defense against the Raiders, who didn't put up not even 1 damn point in Philadelphia. So I don't think they're going to do anything in Houston either. So I'm definitely taking the Texans right there. I'm feeling good about my team, man. I know that you're busting on me for Hurts and A.J. Brown, but going against Washington, oh, man, I'm taking that all day long.
Now watch Hurts run for like 150. Saquon will run for 150.
Well, you know what?
Devontae Smith will have like 140 yards.
Glad you mentioned what have we been saying for the past 2 months on the show? Jalen Hurts, run the football. He ran the football last weekend. They kicked ass. I think they get back to that Jalen Hurts in the ground game. Barkley's been coming alive, and A.J. Brown has been coming alive also. This could be bad news for the rest of the league. We'll see if Philadelphia is actually getting serious over here. As we know, they're going to win their division, but how far will they go? I don't know. They may have to play the 49ers in the first round. Oh,
that'd be great. I don't
know if I want to go there, man. I don't know if I want to go to freaking Philadelphia and play them. I mean, they got the players. I feel like they could turn it on at any time. I'm not thrilled about this. I want to win the fucking division. I want us to win the damn division.
I don't know if
want to
that'll
go on the road.
I don't know
want
if
to go on the road. The 49ers should be at home. That's where we're comfortable.
But you know what? With my bold prediction of the 49ers at the beginning of the season, I'm not, anything can happen. So I'm still not picking them to win the Super Bowl, but I'm damn sure not going to count them out from winning the division. I've already got egg on my face as far as their win total for the season, so I'm not going to embarrass myself any further. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, McNiner. I hate you.
Love it. McNiner is coming through with the good stuff, baby. All right, man. So we got our teams, we got our picks. We have football this weekend, starting with Thursday night. I'm with McNiner. I want Seattle to win. I feel a lot more comfortable about being them than I do the Rams. But either way, gonna have to go through one of them probably. So you know what? May as well be sooner than later, man. Let's freaking do it. All right. That's a wrap, baby. I'm going to do it again next week, week 16, NFL. Have some fun. We'll see you guys. Peace.
Peace.